Hello everyone, this is Jason Rogash. This video is going to be kind of a psychological profile. I've been watching the media since I made my Colin Kaepernick video. I wasn't expecting it to get that many views. I just didn't expect it, or I would probably not have made it, because I thought it was kind of fairly obvious what I was saying. But what I'm getting is, and what I'm seeing from the media in general is, there's these kind of reactionary forces that continue to perpetuate their opinions all over the place. And what I'm noticing is, not everybody is a racist that disagrees with Colin Kaepernick, okay? That doesn't like what Colin Kaepernick did. In fact, there are black people, white people, Latino people, Asian people, every race that I've seen so far have disagreed with Colin Kaepernick on some, and they usually run into the same threads. It goes into the individual protest. Now, let me explain this. They don't understand why Colin Kaepernick is complaining. Now, they forget that his statement about why he's doing it. Forget that he's an African-American man in America. Forget racial profiling. Forget all of that stuff. They don't understand why Colin Kaepernick, what does he have to gain from this? He's got $114 million. He just signed a contract, plus all his endorsements. He's rich. What is he, Colin Kaepernick, going to gain from this, and why is he, Colin Kaepernick, complaining? This is a psychological profile that it's insane to watch people be so, they don't understand what they're saying. At first I thought it was just because Colin Kaepernick was rich. And that's part of it. This rich man, why is he complaining about America? Well, they tolerate it when Donald Trump does it, or they tolerate it when a billionaire tells you how bad the country is if they're running for politics, or how, Donald Trump says how bad the military is and how it needs to be rebuilt, and America loses, we don't win anymore, and all that kind of negative shit. And Colin Kaepernick, it's okay when he does that. And I thought, well, it's got to be because Colin Kaepernick's black, but it's not. In some cases it is, certainly. It's individual versus group. I've never seen it more crystal in my life than the comments that I get, not only on this video, on my video that I made, but I'm reading all over the web. People don't know, because we have, and I know this psychology goes back to rich people. Christopher Hedges points this out fucking brilliantly. He grew up lower middle class, lower working class. And then but he was an exceptional student, so he went to a very wealthy private school, was shipped off there at an early age, and he lived around the super rich and the rich. And he said, and he makes the point, how goddamn greedy and venal and myopic and self-centered and all of they're so wrapped up into their more themselves. And people, when you have that kind of money, become expendable, so you even become more self-centered, and you try to build little monuments to yourself. And Christopher Hedges, I recommend anybody go and watch anything Christopher Hedges does, because it's awesome. And I know people don't like his 9/11 stuff that are conspiracy theorists, but really, Christopher Hedges is fantastic, explaining from a working class perspective of a very smart man, the world around him and the world around us. But this goes, and he makes that point about how selfish and how look at Donald Trump. He's got to be the most selfish human being really, have you ever seen anybody so selfish? And you see this with rich people all the time. They're extremely selfish, self-involved people. Well, that's what Americans strive to be. When you ask a child now what they want to be when they grow up, they don't say fireman or cop, but they say rich. I want to be wealthy. And that we are looking up to people like Bill Gates. We look up to people like Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is this, Zen-like kind of CEO. But really, this was a guy who made billions of dollars. He didn't just make ends meet and made a little bit of money. He made billions and billions and billions of dollars, while slaves in China, while they're still doing this, by the way, slave labor essentially in communist China were building, teenagers, 12 and 13, 15, 16, 17-year-olds were building his cell phones and building his computers. Steve Jobs is a horrible fucking human being, and he was completely self-involved. And Anthony Robbins, same kind of thing, self-involved. Everything is about you. Everything is about you succeeding. You. So this is what people are conditioned in our society to feel, in part. Now, I know I'm oversimplifying this, and there's root causes and all kinds of other things, but I wanted to make a quick video because that's what I'm noticing. Remove all the people that are just racist. Remove all the people that are jealous, and remove all those people. And what you're getting to is, Why is it Colin Kaepernick, the individual, Colin Kaepernick, is complaining? Well, because he succeeded in our society. He should not complain. He has no right to complain. What benefit is Colin Kaepernick? He's not going to make money doing it. And if he is going to make money doing it, where's his angle? Or what, not, and it shows how selfish Americans are. Americans are so fucking selfish and so self-involved and so fucking myopic that they can't see that he's doing it for the group. He's doing it for African Americans in this country. He's maybe even doing it for people that are voiceless, that are victims of police crimes, of color and that aren't of color. Do I wish he'd speak more about socioeconomic terms? Yes. But the stuff that he said about Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump both, it's kind of like he's finding himself politically. He's still a very young man. He's only in his mid to late 20s. So he's still finding himself. And kudos to him again for expressing his opinion. Not enough athletes do this. They could change the world overnight. Athletes could just make such a massive difference. But none of them. But they're so selfish because you have to be to become great at anything. You really have to become selfish. And plus, then when you're given praise and money, you become even more selfish. And that's what our society is. So you're seeing a bunch of people, and they can't figure out why this motherfucker. Why is Colin Kaepernick doing this? He's not gaining anything from this. He's not doing it for himself. He's speaking out for his group, for an oppressed minority. And there are dozens of books written by white people, black people. There's documentaries made, there's socioeconomic studies made, there's political studies made, there's polls that show how oppressed black people are, that African Americans in this country suffer an unbelievable amount of shit, and the state sponsors it. And particularly, we've seen this with boys, black African American males being targeted by police just simply because they are black, pulled over just simply because they are black. They don't run their driver's license. They don't care who they are. They just see a black man driving a car and they pick them up. They pull them over, and then make some reason up. Oh, your license plate light wasn't working. You didn't use your turn signal back there. You were going 5 miles over the speed limit. That kind of shit. And even sometimes they don't even do that. So my point is, this shows all this reaction and all this stuff that I'm seeing. I'm not seeing as much racism, and there is that, like I said, but I'm seeing this selfish shit of a nation that I live in. God, what a bunch of selfish, myopic, self-involved. And it's projecting onto Colin Kaepernick. You're rich, man. You got it, bro. Why would you ever speak out about anything if you're rich? Why would you help the group? Why in the world would you do that? Because I wouldn't. That's what they're saying when they make those comments. It's staggering, and they should take a hard look at themselves. But you know what? It's how America breeds you. If you're born in this country, that is how you are bred. That is how you are conditioned. And it's just getting worse and worse because we are looking up to rich people more and more and more and more. We fucking think Jeff Bezos, that creepy fuck, is a person we should look up to. We think Elon Musk, another creepy fuck, is somebody that we should look up to because they have a lot of money. We think people who make products in Asia, in China, with slave labor should be our heroes because they're rich. It's disgusting. Our culture is disgusting, very selfish, and it's only getting worse. I suggest it's just getting worse. So thank you for listening. Have a good day.